Hi YouTube. Hi Melissa. This is Hive Radical. I just saw your video kind of bringing out and showing that you support Barack Obama. I just wanted to give a few comments, perhaps critiques, but mostly commentary on what seemed to me to be conveyed, kind of the undercurrent of your reticence about showing what you believe or who you support, or things of that nature. Anyway, first of all, for transparency, and because I see things a little bit differently, I believe I'm personally for Governor Romney. I hope he will both win the nomination and the presidency. I don't necessarily know how good his chances are. One thing I've found about this race that's been really neat is to see how wide open it really is. I don't think there's anyone that can give us a clear projection. In some cases it seems like Hillary's pretty sure for the Democratic ticket, and the Republican race still seems wide open, but I still think anything can happen. I find it interesting. And I will sympathize with many people in their quest for objectivity. I personally find that the greatest objectivity we can reach is by acknowledging our own subjectivity. I think it's kind of a false. It's being false both to human nature and false in our communications with others when we don't acknowledge that we all are essentially at our core subjective beings. None of us really can ultimately be objective, because objectivity means you're completely detached from what you're observing, and to be completely detached is to be uninterested. And so in that sense, I mean, I see the desire to gain some solidity in what you're saying and some neutrality, and I think, when I was talking about the underlying current that I believe prompts a lot of people to seek for this objectivity, to constantly do whatever they feel is the best to do, to go after this sense of objectivity, of not portraying someone's what someone believes, or different things people are striving for or to accomplish, is at least for me, it seems to be this fear of when you see other people, whether it's your influence that you have in communicating with people, or you see other people following someone else. To me, it can be quite scary to see the kind of, I don't know if you'd call it faith, or I'm sure many things can prompt it. Anything from a lack of desire to research in a certain area, to do work in something. I mean, that's part of the reason we have the many institutions and professions and professors we have, is because on one hand we do have to get people really in specialized areas, but on the other hand it somewhat keeps us from having to invest as much to understand the world, if we're willing to put our faith in a bunch of other people. And I'm not trying to poo-poo in any sense having, our specialists and people who really get into niche categories, whether it's in history or science or politics or whatever. But I think a lot of the vision of Renaissance men and Renaissance women is lost in these things, and even in our striving for that. But I think it all comes down to this kind of this groupthink, and it's scary when you see how easily people are influenced by mere words, by the rhetoric of someone who either talks nicely or talks in a way that's some way has an appeal, whether it's in the way they construct their logic, or even in their tone of voice in their presentation, and to see how easily masses can be moved by this, and whatever it is that's driving them, I personally think it can be scary sometimes if you don't understand, if the people don't understand why that is they're following. And I think that might be a lot of the reason why you reach for the or strain at the delusion of objectivity and don't want people to blindly follow you. Because I can see how scary it is. I watch, listen to talk shows and other forums of public discourse, and it can be kind of scary how quickly people bite things and take things on and run with assumptions and statements. But on the other hand, as I say, I believe it's best if we state what our prejudices are. I would like to go more into depth with this, but I do think it's interesting what your post reveals, and I guess that's the ultimate thrust of my video, is that it is kind of, I can relate with you even though I don't agree with the way you're going about it, but I do respect your emphasis on not having people follow you simply because that's what you've chosen. And I think people overall, we need to strive more for kind of a Renaissance man and a Renaissance woman model. We need to try to, even if we do have the specific niches in our lives, we need to do all we can to want to learn about the different areas so that we're not dependent as much on specialists, whether it's political commentators or some particular favorite restaurant or what have you. So that, because I think that's a lot of what our society needs, and I believe in kind of an odd way that will help us be more objective, or at least just more well-rounded. So I'll kind of finish off with that, and I hope my blabberings help someone out, or someone got entertainment out of it. Anyway, thanks.